August 17 was a turning point you didn't notice. Archangel Michael tried to alert you, but you skipped it again. What you lost spiritually can still be recovered, but only if you open this right now. 90 seconds left. August 17 was not just another page in the calendar. It was not a random Thursday or a forgotten Saturday. No, in the records of heaven, it was marked in gold, circled in divine ink, and whispered across the corridors of angels as a turning point in the spirit. The earth may have gone on as usual. Clocks ticked, alarms buzzed, people hurried through another day. But in the realm of the unseen, something shifted, something sacred, something sovereign. Heaven released a moment, a spark of divine intervention tailored for you, and only you. It was the day the windows opened. It was the day a file bearing your name was placed before the throne. And it was the day Archangel Michael, heaven's warrior, heaven's messenger, descended to your atmosphere with a word. A nudge. A signal. He came to alert you. But you missed it. Then, do not weep in shame, for heaven does not condemn. But heaven does record. And August 17 is now recorded as a moment that tried to pass you something, but your hands were too full. Your mind was too busy. Your spirit too distracted. And the ripple has already begun. There is no such thing as a missed spiritual moment without consequence. Every divine offering unreceived creates a vacuum, and every vacuum invites either restoration or invasion. You felt it, didn't you? A strange silence that followed. A subtle unrest. A whisper in the back of your mind that something passed you and you weren't ready. That's because something did. But hear this now. Heaven is still watching. And more importantly, heaven is still willing. The window of recovery, the divine extension of grace, is open. But only for a brief time. This is not a general broadcast. This is not for every ear. This is for the few whose spirit stirs, even now as these words go forth. If August 17 echoes in your soul, you are among them. This moment, this message, is a mercy sent. But obedience is the condition. Listening now is the test. Responding now is the difference between full restoration and permanent spiritual loss. You are being called. You are being tested. And heaven is waiting. Type "I am chosen" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 666 is now surrounding you. Within the next 90 seconds, something inside you is going to recognize this message was never random. It was sent. It was dispatched. It was marked with your name in radiant fire, and the one who carried it is no ordinary voice. I speak now as the echo of Archangel Michael's trumpet. I speak now with the urgency of one who walks in divine briefings. I speak now to summon you out of confusion and into clarity, because you were not supposed to miss August 17. Let everything else fade. Silence your environment. Put down the distractions. Because in this moment, this divine window, heaven is opening a corridor. Not for your ears alone, but for your spirit to remember what it forgot. Michael came. He came with authority. He came with movement. He came with alignment in his wings, carrying a word directly from the commander of heaven's armies. And the word was this: watch the 17th. Wait for the sound. When it comes, do not hesitate. But you hesitated. You doubted the inner nudge. You brushed off the gut feeling. You postponed the prayer. You delayed the decision. And so, the moment passed through your hands like vapor. And yet heaven never wastes an act of obedience. Archangel Michael still sounded the alert, and because of that, the scroll was not sealed. The door did not close fully. The record is still open. That's why you're here now, pulled into this moment like a magnet to destiny. This is not coincidence. This is not entertainment. This is an extraction. Your soul was summoned here for recovery. Listen, not everyone will feel what you're feeling. Not everyone will understand the weight that just landed in your chest. But if something in your spirit just set up, you are not like the rest. You are the marked. You are the remembered. You are the one whose name did not fade from the scroll of August 17. Do not scroll past this. Do not shrink from this. This is your soul's courtroom moment. Heaven is issuing a divine subpoena, and your obedience is the only acceptable answer. Michael is the angel of war, but also of warning. He stands not just with the sword, but with the signal. And on August 17, you were one of the few who had your name spoken in the midst of the storm. The urgency in your chest is not anxiety, it is a call to alignment. The stirring in your belly is not fear, it is the rumbling of spiritual recall. Heaven is asking you to wake up, to rise from the fog of delay. You were sent here because God still wants to give you what you failed to grasp the first time. But only if you respond in obedience. There is fire in the air right now. There is movement in the invisible realms. You have 90 seconds, not to understand but to respond. Say yes. Say yes in your spirit. Say yes in your posture. Say yes with your next breath. Because the ones who hesitate will walk into September wondering what slipped through their fingers, but the ones who say yes now will walk into supernatural recovery that begins before the sun sets again. You are not late. You are being given a second entry. Michael is still watching. And this is your moment to rise. Type "I am anointed" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1122 is now activated. There are days when heaven moves without announcement, when the winds of God sweep quietly across your life, rearranging things behind the veil, and leaving only a whisper behind. August 17 was one of those days. Not loud, not obvious, but absolutely cataclysmic in the spirit. On that day, the atmosphere trembled, not because the world noticed, but because something eternal touched your timeline. You may not have seen it with your eyes, but your spirit felt the shift. The problem? You didn't pause long enough to recognize what it was. There was a change, not in your schedule, but in your spiritual placement. A door opened. A scroll was brought forward. A divine vote was cast in your favor. Archangel Michael was dispatched, not just to fight, but to alert you. But like so many moments dressed in silence, this one came camouflaged. It didn't look like a sign. It looked like a thought. It didn't sound like a trumpet. It sounded like a pause in conversation. It didn't come with fire. It came with stillness. And because of that, it passed right by your distracted heart. That day you were supposed to notice. You were supposed to awaken. You were supposed to withdraw from the noise and feel what the Spirit was doing. But the world was loud. The phone kept ringing. The scroll of heaven landed at your feet, and you stepped over it without realizing. Don't condemn yourself, but don't dismiss it either. Because what slipped past you didn't slip past your enemy. Yes, while you were scrolling, someone else was watching. While you were distracted, someone else was intercepting. There are eyes on you in the spirit realm, some angelic, yes, but others demonic. There are those who track your breakthrough moments, not to celebrate them, but to interfere with them. And when they saw heaven point to your name on August 17, they move. Swiftly, secretly, subtly. Have you noticed strange interactions since that day? People around you becoming distant, edgy, or odd for no apparent reason. A sudden chill in relationships you thought were secure. Have you noticed that uneasy feeling, like something's off, but you can't explain it? That's not random. That's resistance. Someone noticed that something shifted for you in the spirit, and they want to make sure you never reclaim it. Let this land heavy. Spiritual warfare is not always loud. Sometimes it's silent sabotage. Sometimes it's people's energy shifting toward you. Sometimes it's opportunities suddenly delayed. Sometimes it's confusion wrapping itself around your clarity. That's the backlash of a missed moment. And it started the moment the 17th ended and your spiritual door remained unopened. But the mystery deepens here. Because even now, part of you feels like something happened. Even though you can't name it, you feel the weight of what you miss. That's why you're here. That's why this message feels eerily specific. Because your spirit has been grieving something your mind couldn't define. Michael knew this would happen. He saw the interference coming. He saw how your delay would attract opposition. And still, heaven sent him to fight for you. Still, this message was sent to recover what was lost. You didn't lose your blessing, but you lost the window to receive it without warfare. And now, it must be reclaimed. You are not crazy for feeling like something changed after August 17. You're not paranoid for sensing strange energy around you. You're discerning. Your soul is reacting to what your spirit saw, even if your eyes didn't. This is the moment to reclaim the mystery, to pull back the veil, to stop pretending you're fine when your heart knows something slips through the cracks. You've been disrupted, emotionally, spiritually, even relationally. But you don't have to stay in confusion. The key to recovery is obedience. Listen now. Lock in now. Because the one who responds to the mystery with faith will be the one who recovers what others thought was lost forever. The battle for your blessing didn't end on August 17. It began there. And what you do next will determine whether that blessing dies or is delivered. Type "I'm still recovering" in the comments if this message is for you. Blessing code 1717 is opening lost doors. If this word struck something in your spirit, don't just receive it. Fuel it. Right now, you have the chance to sow into the release of this kind of prophetic insight for others still waiting to wake up. Every offering you give isn't just a gift. It's a seed of rescue for someone else's soul. The word says in Isaiah 55:11, "My word will not return void." When you give, you're wrapping that word in wings and sending it into more lives. I feel this deeply. Some of you are being prompted to move. Don't ignore that pull. Your generosity becomes firewood for the altar. Support the mission through super thanks, membership, or PayPal. The donation link is in the video description. Let your giving become a prophetic act. Move now. Release now. Heaven is watching. You must understand something now, and understand it fully. August 17 was never about a random spiritual occurrence. It was a battlefield moment, camouflaged in silence. Heaven does not waste dates, and hell does not ignore divine movement. When August 17 was inscribed into your destiny, it was written as a test, not just a blessing. And every test is a gate, a crossing point, that divides those who recognize divine time from those who simply survive earthly routines. That day was never designed to be ordinary. It was a checkpoint in the spiritual war over your life. On the surface, nothing may have looked different. The sky did not turn red. The ground didn't shake. But in the invisible realms, there was a tension, a divine clash, and your name was at the center of it. You were being watched by heaven and by hell. God allowed a moment to be dropped in your path, something simple but sacred, to see if you would pause, listen, respond. Maybe it was a whisper to pray, a pull to break a pattern, a sudden quietness that made you feel like something holy was nearby. But instead of obeying, you brushed it off as coincidence. That's what the test was, not loud, not flashy, but intentional. Divinely designed to see if you could discern in silence. Why would heaven test you this way? Because the weight of what you're called to carry requires spiritual precision. Because the favor attached to your name is heavy, and those called to carry spiritual favor must first be found spiritually focused. You are not just anybody. You are not forgotten. You are targeted, not for destruction, but for destiny. And that targeting comes at a cost. You see, there is a principle of spiritual surveillance, a watching that happens from both sides. The angels are watching to measure your readiness. The enemy is watching to find your weakness. And on August 17, both camps saw you hesitate. Heaven took note. Hell took interests. And what could have been a moment of divine acceleration became instead a spark of spiritual resistance. It wasn't punishment. It was exposure. And yet, the story is not sealed. Because this is what God does with the chosen. He allows them to feel the weight of what they miss so they can develop the eyes to never mess again. The conflict you're in right now, the tension, the questions, the strange heaviness, it all stems from a test that didn't end on August 17. That test simply shifted forms. Now it is no longer about noticing a moment. It is about how you respond to the aftermath. Will you wake up? Will you align? Will you return to obedience even though the opportunity passed? Because make no mistake, you are still being watched. Not by people, not by platforms, but by the kingdom. This is the holy surveillance of your life, the kind that tracks your posture, not your popularity. Heaven is still waiting for your spirit to align. Not just emotionally, but volitionally. With choice. With action. With surrender. Because your next season hinges not on what was missed, but on what you do now. Hear this. The war over your destiny has already started. The enemy is not attacking you because you're weak. He's attacking you because you're marked. He sees what you carry. He sees what you almost stepped into. And he wants to ensure that the next time heaven opens a door, you're too burdened to walk through it. But that's not who you are anymore. You are not the confused version of yourself that overlooked August 17. You are the awakened one now. The aware. The recalibrated. You have been pulled back into awareness so that your blessing may still be delivered, even if it comes with more warfare now. This time, when the window opens, and it will, you will not delay. You will not second guess. You will not hesitate. Because now you know this is war. And you've already been chosen to win it. Type "I am awakened" in the comments if this message is for you. Blessing code 555 is rewriting your spiritual test into triumph. What began on August 17 is not over. It has merely unfolded in layers, and many of those layers are still hidden from your natural understanding. What you must realize now, and realize urgently, is that forces were awakened on that day. Not only spiritual forces in heaven, but movements of darkness that began to stir, because your name was whispered in realms most cannot even discern. When heaven pointed to you, hell responded. When your destiny was highlighted, your opposition was activated. And while you may not have noticed the shift, they did. Understand this: what God marks, Satan monitors. And on August 17, when the angelic scribe documented your moment of visitation, it triggered a reaction in the spiritual resistance. They moved quickly, quietly, strategically, to ensure that what was being released would never reach your hands. Because they understood something most people do not. One moment of divine alignment can unravel years of demonic interference. So they came. Not in the ways you expect, but in whispers, in delays, in tiredness, in strange emotional fogs, in small disruptions designed to pull your attention just far enough away from the assignment that it felt like nothing happened. But something did happen, and the effects of it are still rippling in the unseen. That's why the warning must be made clear now. You are still under spiritual surveillance, not for condemnation, but for confrontation. Because the realm of darkness never gives up territory easily. And the moment you hesitated on August 17, the enemy took ground you were meant to occupy. But now you are rising, and they know it. And they are moving again. Resistance is not over. It is intensifying. In the next 72 hours, mark this, you will see a sign. A divine marker. A clear moment that demands a response. It may not come in thunder, but it will shake your spirit. It may not come in visions, but it will echo with urgency. It may look ordinary, but it will feel undeniably prophetic. The sign will be tailored to your destiny. A word. A dream. A shift in a relationship. A divine discomfort. You will know it because it will not leave you. It will follow you until you acknowledge it. But here is the critical key. If you do not respond, the moment will pass again. And the cost this time will be greater. You will know it's the sign because it will interrupt your pattern. It will provoke either surrender or pride. It will call you to change immediately. This is not a game of delays anymore. This is divine recovery, but recovery must be responded to in obedience. The enemy will try to disguise this moment as minor, as inconvenient, as random. Do not fall for it. The adversary thrives when you second-guess the supernatural. But heaven wins when you obey quickly. Now listen closely. The forces who moved against you after August 17 are watching your next move. If you remain passive, they will tighten their grip. But if you act, if you declare, repent, align, and obey, they will be forced to release what they've tried to hold. This is your moment to make the enemy regret ever opposing you. This is your time to awaken from spiritual numbness and step into spiritual command. You were not built for backseat living. You were forged for frontline obedience. And it starts now. You have 72 hours to respond in the natural to what's being activated in the supernatural. The countdown has begun. Heaven will provide the sign, but you must decide what to do with it. Do not ignore this. Do not dismiss the pull you feel right now. This is a moment of divine confrontation. The kind that rewrites spiritual history or repeats it. But it does not have to repeat. Because you are here. Because you heard. Because you know what's coming. Now act like it. Type "I refuse to miss IT" again in the comments if this word was for you. Blessing code 8844 is now rushing to your defense. Before the next wave hits, before the sign arrives, before the unseen battle intensifies, you must be fortified. This is not the moment to panic, react, or spiral. This is the moment to still your soul and come under the covering of heaven's command. Archangel Michael does not only come with a sword, he comes with orders, with structure, and with divine precision. And right now, the order has been issued. Be still. Stand guard. Move only by the Spirit. This isn't the time to talk to everyone. This isn't the time to explain what you're feeling to people who live in the flesh. This isn't the time to process publicly what was meant to be handled privately with God. This is the time to get quiet. Because silence is not passivity. Silence is spiritual strategy. Heaven is surrounding you, but noise attracts warfare. When the enemy can't find you through sin, he will seek you through sound. He tracks activity. He listens for patterns. He waits for emotional leaks, and when you speak from the soul instead of the spirit, you unintentionally reveal coordinates. That's why Archangel Michael is whispering one command over your life right now. Withdraw to the secret place. Pull back. Unplug. Cancel the unnecessary. Shut down the noise. You need clarity, not commentary. You need stillness, not stimulation. You need to hear God, not them. Right now, spiritual movement is happening above your head. There are angels positioned over your region. They are not fighting blindly. They are targeting the resistance that tried to intercept what belonged to you. But they require something from you in return, your stillness. Because stillness grants access. It shows trust. It proves obedience. It is a signal to the heavenly realm that you are ready to receive. Psalm 91 is not a poetic scripture. It is a divine blueprint. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Did you hear that? Dwelleth. Not visit. Not stop by occasionally. But live there. Stay there. Camp there. Because when you dwell in silence, the enemy is blinded. He cannot see what is hidden under the shadow. There is divine protection available for you right now, but it must be accessed through withdrawal. Heaven is not asking you to go to war. Heaven is asking you to let the war finish in silence. You must not retaliate in the flesh. Do not clap back. Do not defend yourself. Do not chase explanations. Do not fall into reaction. Because the moment you react emotionally, you pull yourself out of position spiritually. This is not your fight. This is heaven's fight. Your role is stillness. Your weapon is obedience. Your safety is guaranteed by divine silence. Yes, you may feel surrounded, but heaven is surrounding what surrounds you. Yes, the enemy thinks he's advancing, but heaven has already gone before him. Yes, you may feel vulnerable, but the blood of Jesus has already sealed the outcome. And Archangel Michael, the commander of heaven's armies, has been sent not just to war but to cover you. He is not pacing. He is not guessing. He is not retreating. He is standing. And when Michael stands, demons fall. But you must obey the covering orders. Go silent. Go hidden. Go still. Begin every morning with prayer before words, and every night with surrender before sleep. Fast from noise. Fast from opinions. Fast from anything that stirs confusion. Because your silence will speak louder than any argument. Your obedience will open more doors than your effort. And your stillness will blind the eyes of the ones who have been tracking your movements since August 17. The army of heaven doesn't move with chaos, it moves with command. So fall in line. Come under the cloud. And watch as God shields you in ways that leave no room for the enemy to touch you. You are not unprotected. You are not exposed. You are under orders. And because you are under orders, you are under covering. Type "I am hidden under his shadow" in the comments if this is your confirmation. Blessing code 2929 is sealing your household from enemy access. August 17 changed you. Even if you didn't catch it with your mind, your spirit absorbed the shift. And the truth is you've been walking in a different spiritual atmosphere ever since. What you thought was frustration was actually spiritual recalibration. What you thought was delay was actually a disruption to an outdated identity. The version of you that existed before that day, the one who hesitated, the one who doubted, the one who dismissed a nudge, that version is not who you are anymore. You're not wandering anymore. You're awakening. Heaven allowed you to miss it once not to shame you, but to elevate you, to pressurize your purpose and refine your discernment. You are being forged in divine fire. You are being restructured, reordered, recalled to your original design. This is not regression. This is rebirth. The ashes of what was missed are now the foundation of what's being built. You are not weak. You are not late. You are not forgot. You are the one God is lifting from the middle of the mystery, the one heaven is redeeming in real time. You are the one Michael covered in silence, so that your enemies wouldn't recognize your transformation before you could fully step into it. That's why you felt unseen lately. It wasn't rejection, it was concealment. Heaven hid you during your shift so hell couldn't sabotage the new version of you. Because the enemy knows something you've only just begun to realize. When you awaken to who you really are, he loses control. You are not just recovering what you missed. You are becoming someone who will never miss again. The confusion is clearing. The noise is lifting. The doubts are shrinking. You are rising into the clarity that was always inside you. And that clarity is producing spiritual authority. You must begin to speak differently now. No more passive language. No more maybe I'm cold. No more I don't know what I'm doing. No more shrinking when you feel resistance. No more apologizing for sensing what others cannot see. You are the one heaven trusts with strategic vision. You see before others see. You feel before others notice. That is not weakness. That is elevation. This is the season of wings. God is not just calling you to recover. He is calling you to rise. The word says in Isaiah 40:31, "They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles." That verse isn't just poetic. It's prophetic. You are the eagle in this hour. You've been waiting. Now your strength is being renewed. Now the wings are unfolding. Now the sky is calling. But these wings don't open in busy places. They open in obedience, in silence, in surrender. Chains are breaking, not because you're fighting, but because you're finally agreeing with heaven's truth about you. You are not cursed. You are not too late. You are not broken beyond repair. You are not disqualified. You are chosen. You are rising. You are being remembered. Michael is not fighting beside you simply because of what you've done. He's here because of who you are. Heaven doesn't assign its chief warrior to lost causes. Heaven sends Michael to marked vessels, those whose names are spoken in the divine council, those whose destinies are dangerous to darkness, those whose identities shake regions. You have survived the sabotage. You have outlived the delay. And now you are entering spiritual momentum. You will think faster. You will discern sharper. You will move with clarity, not confusion. This is your emergence. Let the false version of you die. The hesitant one, the unsure one, the insecure one. She's gone. He's buried. You are not them anymore. You are the after version. The risen version. The fire-tested, silence-forged, glory-called version. And the moment you believe this fully, the shift will not just be internal, it will show up everywhere around you. Type "I've risen from the fire" in the comments if you feel the shift inside. Blessing code 3003 is now unlocking your next spiritual elevation. Now comes the revelation. The question has lingered long enough. The silence has served its purpose. The warfare has weathered you into someone who can finally receive the real answer. Why was August 17 so pivotal? Because it was the activation date of your spiritual unlocking. It was the moment heaven moved from waiting to working. It was the day a long-delayed prophecy, attached to your bloodline, was set in motion. You see, there are blessings that don't come in response to prayer. They come in response to timing. There are anointings reserved for appointed days, not just desired ones. And August 17 was one of those appointments. It was circled in heaven before you were born. It was written into your scroll before your first breath. It was designed as a day of divine inheritance, a day when what your ancestors wept for would finally be placed in your hands. But heaven could not transfer that kind of weight to the old version of you. The distracted version. The emotionally tired, spiritually foggy, delay-conditioned version of you. So when the day came and you weren't fully aligned, The blessing was not cancelled, but it was suspended. Hell hovered, hidden, just beyond your reach, waiting for your awareness to catch up to your assignment. But now that your spirit has awakened, now that your obedience has shifted, heaven is reactivating what had paused. Let this settle deeply in your bones. The prophecy was not voided. The blessing was not stolen. The favor was not revoked. It was simply placed in spiritual escrow, waiting for you to catch the signal. And this message is that signal. You were chosen to receive something that has outlived generations. Something that hell has tried to bury in delay, in trauma, in false identities, in years of warfare that made you feel like you were just trying to survive. But all along, God was keeping you alive for the fulfillment. He was protecting what you didn't even know you were carrying. He was covering what was too heavy for you to hold until now. August 17 was the release point. But this moment, right now, is the recovery point. Heaven is calling you to realign with what was spoken over you before the foundations of the world. Heaven is calling you back to the inheritance that was temporarily withheld, not because you were disqualified, but because God was waiting for your maturity to match your mantle. Now it does. Now you're ready to carry what would have crushed the old version of you. Now you're ready to steward what you would have squandered before. Now you're ready to walk in the weight of your original assignment, not the watered-down one you settled for, but the raw, fire-tested, prophetically sealed identity that the enemy has feared since the day you were born. And here's the prophecy. You will not exit this year the same. You will not cross into your next season empty-handed. You will not walk forward with eyes half closed and spirit half awake. You are crossing the line of divine recovery. The blessing is still accessible. The doors are still open. The seal is still warm. But you must say yes, now. You must move quickly, boldly, and obediently. Heaven has already adjusted the terrain in your favor. The sign will come. The shift will be felt. But it will only fully manifest for those who align. Your name has not been removed. Your file is still open. And Michael is still standing guard, waiting for your response. Now is the moment to take hold of what was paused. Because this is not just recovery, this is restoration with divine acceleration. Type "I to Kim aligning with destiny" in the comments if this word confirms what you felt in your spirit. Blessing note 8181 is opening the vaults of withheld prophecy over your life. As you step into alignment with what was delayed but never denied, you now have the opportunity to help unlock the same prophetic clarity for others who are still living unaware. This message is not just for you. It's a spiritual wake-up call for millions who have missed their moment and need direction. When you give, you sow into the fire of revelation, into the sound of heaven reaching lost ears. The word in Luke 6:38 is alive right now. Give, and it shall be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. This is your moment to become a part of what God is pouring out. Your gift becomes a trumpet for someone else's breakthrough. Support through Super Thanks, membership, or a seed through PayPal. The link is in the video description. Move in obedience. Heaven sees it. Heaven multiplies it. Heaven rewards it. This is it. This is the line. This is the hinge upon which your next season swings open. You've heard the warnings. You've felt the weight. You've remembered what your spirit forgot. But now comes the most decisive part of all, your agreement. Heaven can prepare the way. Michael can war on your behalf. Prophecies can hover over your life for decades. But none of it manifests without your yes. Destiny is not just decided in the stars. It is activated through your obedience. And this is that moment. The atmosphere around you right now has been charged. This very moment is sacred. You're not just listening. You are standing in a corridor between recovery and regret. One word separates the two: obedience. There are times in spiritual history when everything converges, past, present, and future, into a single moment. And that moment, a God-ordained collision between your awakening and your assignment. August 17 was the trigger. But this right here, this second, is the activation. What does it mean to activate destiny? It means you move past inspiration and step into implementation. It means you don't just feel it, you respond to it. You speak what needs to be spoken. You renounce what must be renounced. You reposition yourself in the center of divine alignment with unapologetic clarity. This is the difference between those who visit purpose and those who walk in it. And it starts with your mouth. Say yes. Out loud. Right now. Even if your voice trembles. Even if you're unsure of what comes next. Say yes to God's timing. Yes to obedience. Yes to correction. Yes to being rerouted. Yes to discipline. Yes to silence. Yes to surrender. Your yes isn't just for you. Your yes is generational. Your yes reaches forward and cancels things that would have reached your children. Your yes tears down altars built by your ancestors. Your yes unlocks mantles that have been waiting for a vessel bold enough to carry them without compromise. Don't underestimate the power of one verbal agreement in the spirit. Because heaven responds to sound. The spirit responds to surrender. And Michael responds to movement. If you hesitate here, you'll wonder in a few weeks why things still feel stuck. But if you say yes, fully, wholly, sacrificially, everything begins to move again. Doors that jammed will suddenly unstick. Relationships that were cloudy will either clear or be cut. Dreams that faded will return with sharper detail. Why? Because you finally aligned with the activation heaven was waiting on. This is not hype. This is spiritual mechanics. There are things God cannot release to you until you speak, until you command, until you agree and voice what your spirit is already feeling. The word says in Job 22:28, "You shall decree a thing, and it shall be established for you." That wasn't poetic suggestion. It was divine legislation. Speak it now. Declare it now. Decree over your life that the delay is over. Say out loud, "I am no longer who I was before August 17. I reclaim every missed opportunity heaven still has for me. I will not live another week in confusion or delay. I activate my assignment. I submit to God's timing. I say yes." Now understand this. Obedience must be demonstrated. You must change how you speak. You must shift your schedule. You must cut off distractions. You must elevate your standards. Because obedience is not just vocal, it's visible. When you say yes, but keep moving the same way you delay what heaven wants to release. So this is the moment to walk like the one who carries fire, to pray like the one who saw Michael in a dream, to live like the one who knows their life was almost hijacked by delay, but recovered through divine alignment. You are not just a person with potential. You are a person with a present call to action. The blessing has already been scheduled. The angels have already been mobilized. But your response is still required. You are now standing where many never make it to, the threshold of destiny. Step in. Speak up. Surrender fully. Activate what has been waiting on you. Type ISAYYS to Heaven's Timing in the comments if this is your activation moment. Blessing code 7070 is now releasing what was held back because of hesitation. Now that you've said yes, now that your spirit has been aligned and your obedience released, there is something happening that your eyes cannot see, but your soul may already sense. The silent exchange in the spirit realm has begun. Right now, without fanfare or announcement, a courtroom in heaven has been reopened. Not the kind made of earthly stone and wood, but a place of divine negotiation, where scrolls are reviewed, debts are measured, and destinies are stamped with either delay or deliverance. And your scroll has just been placed on the altar. The Archangel Michael stands there as witness. The Holy Spirit advocates for your case. And the voice of the blood speaks louder than any accusation brought against you. This is not fantasy. This is biblical mechanics. Hebrews 12:24 declares that the blood of Jesus speaks better things than the blood of Abel. That means there is a voice in the unseen world that never stops defending you. Every time you thought your silence disqualified you, the blood was still speaking. Every time you slept through your assignment, the blood stayed awake. Every time you doubted what you carried, the blood declared your value anyway. And now, as the courtroom fills with the echoes of your surrendered yes, a transaction is taking place, a trade in heaven's economy. What you lost on August 17 is being rewritten, reweighed, and reassigned. But let this truth drop deep into your soul. This transaction is not loud. It is not theatrical. It happens in stillness, in sovereignty, in silence. Because in the realm of true authority, power doesn't yell, it decrees. And heaven is decreeing something over you right now that no devil can cancel and no delay can deny. Their recovery is in process. There are spiritual ledgers with your name on them, balances of pain, debts of delay, records of mistiming. But the blood has entered your account. The records are being overwritten in grace. Not erased to ignore, but redeemed to fulfill. Your sins, reviewed and forgiven. Your delays, measured and recalibrated. Your moments of hesitation, noted but now covered. Because your yes activated more than emotion. It released heaven's legal authority to move in your case. This is not just spiritual hype. This is a court-ordered shift. And those kinds of shifts carry generational weight. You feel the stillness even now. That's not apathy. That's a holy hush. A reverent pause in the spirit. Because while your mind might be racing to understand it, your soul already recognizes it. Heaven just moved on my behalf. You didn't see it, but you felt it. You didn't hear it, but you know it. That moment you suddenly felt calm. That wasn't you calming yourself. And that was heaven sealing the deal. And you must know this too. Angels were involved. You think you've been walking alone? You haven't. Michael has been fighting in the background this entire time, not just with swords, but with keys. Because not all battles are fought by force. Some are won through legal authority. And Michael, Heaven's prince and warrior, has the authority to carry your signed restoration into fulfillment. But here's the part most overlook. Silent exchanges require posture. You cannot enter this level of recovery acting like the old version of you. You must walk like someone whose case was just overturned in heaven. You must speak like someone who was just declared innocent. You must move like someone whose name was just whispered in the throne room. Because the truth is, it was. And every demon that tried to whisper your name in darkness now trembles in silence. Because heaven has already countered it with a decree they cannot stop. Release what belongs to them. You may have missed the first transfer. But now, heaven is redelivering. And this time, the seal cannot be broken. So walk carefully now. Speak with reverence. Carry yourself with awareness. You are walking under a divine judgment of favor. What you lost is being returned, not just as a blessing but as a verdict. The case is closed. The scroll is sealed. The silent exchange is complete. Type "The court of heaven has ruled in my favor" if this word resonates with your spirit. Blessing code 9393 is now enforcing what has been written on your scroll. Heaven is not unjust. God does not forget. The throne of the Almighty does not operate on emotion. It operates on eternal justice. And the moment the court of heaven ruled in your favor, a chain reaction was triggered. One that demands everything the enemy stole be reversed, restored, and repaid in full with interest. Because this is not just about your blessing. This is about divine compensation. This is about spiritual justice. Let this truth thunder in your spirit. The God who watched what happened to you also recorded it. The conversations behind your back. The demonic distractions that pulled you off course. The sabotage that was disguised as friendship. The years of misalignment that drained your energy and silenced your gifts. All of it was seen. All of it was weighed. And now all of it is being addressed. You didn't just suffer disappointment. You suffered spiritual theft. You didn't just experience delay. You were under demonic manipulation, wrapped in confusion, boxed in by fear, targeted by hellish timing traps designed to make you miss your moments. But now, justice has been activated. And when justice is activated in the kingdom, reversal follows. God never lets a thief walk away untouched. The word declares in Proverbs 6:31, if the thief is found, he must repay sevenfold. This is not a metaphor. This is legal precedent in the spirit. That means whatever was stolen from your life, your joy, your clarity, your relationships, your focus, your fire, your finances, your momentum, must now return in multiplied form. You've spent years trying to fix what was broken. But now heaven is saying, stand still. I'm about to reverse what they tried to make permanent. This is your spiritual recompense. This is heaven's payback. And here's what you must understand. Divine reversal doesn't look like a return to what was. It looks like an upgrade to what always should have been. It's not restoration to the previous version of you. It's access to the prophetic version of you, the one that was silenced by trauma and delayed by warfare. You're not going back. You're going forward into everything the enemy worked overtime to block. Heaven has already issued the reversal order. Now your job is to stay in alignment so nothing interferes. That means don't reconnect with what tried to kill your fire. Don't romanticize the season you just escaped. Don't negotiate with voices that delayed you the first time. Don't minimize your blessing to make others comfortable. Because this isn't just about getting your stuff back. This is about becoming who you were before the sabotage began. You are walking into divine justice now. People who misjudged you will be silenced by your eyes. Opportunities that closed on you will suddenly reopen, this time with favor. Rooms that once ignored you will now request you. Relationships that drifted without closure will reveal why they had to end. Because the reversal is not just spiritual, it will manifest in the physical. This is real. This is now. And this is irrevocable. Michael has executed judgment on the thief. The blood has canceled the debt. The court has ruled. And the enemy must now vomit up what he swallowed from your life. But here's the last piece you must hear. This reversal is tied to your response. If you walk like nothing has changed, you'll delay what heaven is trying to deliver. If you shrink in false humility, you'll forfeit what's already been signed. If you return to the old version of you, the one who hesitated, compromised, or cowered, you'll re-enter cycles you were just delivered from. So rise in authority. Rise in identity. Rise in ownership. Because God is not just reversing what was stolen. He is rewarding what was endured. And the reward is not just things. It's favor. It's peace. It's clarity. It's confirmation in public of what you carried in private. It's the moment when heaven says, "This one stayed standing. Now give them everything that was held up, plus more." You're not being restored to where you were. You're being catapulted into what was promised. This is your divine reversal. And it is written. And it is final. Type "I receive my justice" in the comments if this word hit your spirit. Blessing Node 1919 is multiplying what was stolen from you sevenfold. This is your final moment in this holy encounter, but it is only the beginning of your new chapter in the Spirit. What began as a whisper of mystery, a stirring tide to a date you couldn't explain, has now unfolded into a full prophetic revelation. August 17 was never forgotten. It was recorded. It was remembered. And it has now been restored. Heaven has seen you. Heaven has heard your yes. Heaven has moved in response. And now, you are sealed in favor. Let this truth burn into your bones. You are no longer walking under the weight of spiritual confusion. The delay has been judged. The enemy has been silenced. The scroll has been resealed with the stamp of the blood. The blessing is not only returning, it is being delivered with divine precision. From this moment on, you are covered. From this moment on, you are watched over. From this moment on, you are under a new anointing, not the one you earned, but the one heaven kept waiting for when your obedience would catch up to your calling. Let no voice distract you now. Let no delay confuse you again. You are walking forward under the weight of glory, not the weight of regret. Let no enemy lie to you about what was missed. Let no person from your past try to pull you back into old versions of yourself. The version of you that rose from this message is different, stronger, sharper, anointed, dangerous to darkness. And now, may this blessing rest upon you. May the Lord cover you with his wings and surround you with divine silence. May the host of heaven walk beside you through every corridor of transition. May Archangel Michael continue to guard what has been reactivated over your life. May every delayed assignment return to your hands in full. May divine justice fall like lightning on every theft, every mockery, every sabotage. May you walk in clarity, confidence, and full commissioning. You are no longer waiting for favor. You are walking in it. You are no longer begging for alignment. You are aligned. You are no longer searching for the door. The door is open, and it's calling your name. You are sealed. You are seen. You are sent. Now rise. Type "I am walking in divine completion" in the comments if this final word covered you. Blessing code 0000 has now closed what needed to end and opened what is beginning. If this message unlocks something in your spirit, help us unlock it for thousands more. This is not just a video. It is a trumpet in the wilderness, and it's reaching people whose destinies depend on it. When you give, you don't just support content. You activate impact. You become the hands and feet of prophecy, funding the spread of spiritual wake-up calls across the earth. Those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed, says Proverbs 11:25, and your generosity is a seed that returns with multiplied force. You can sow through super thanks, membership, or by planting a seed through PayPal, link in the video description. Let your giving echo what you just declared. I am walking in completion. Release it now as a final act of alignment.